Hello there. Today we're going to make this card. Isn't that a neat looking card? I put this pattern together years ago when I was just playing around with paper, and it's a fun, very simple pattern to make. So let's go ahead and make one. All right, you're just going to need a regular A2 card. And, whoops, I turn this over so you can see what we're doing here. And you're going to take, in order to get this fold, then, because as you can see, it folds right along this line here, we're going to have to crease it from this corner down to this corner, and that's where you're going to fold it. So you just need to take your fingernail, and fold it over a little bit, and take this fingernail and fold it over a little bit, and then crease those corners. And then you're going to fold it over using those two creases that you've made, that one and this one, and press them both down, and then very gently you're going to try to get them to match up. All right, that looks good to me. And then go ahead and use your finger and press it down. And it may go off just a little bit, but that's okay. So like this one, it didn't go quite all the way down to the very edge, but that's okay. And it usually doesn't go right to the edge for me up in the corner. But today it did opposite, but that's okay. All right, so now that's the fold right there. Okay, so now we just have to trim off this excess. So you can use your paper cutter or you can use a pair of scissors. I think I'm going to use my paper cutter and line it up on here. And make sure I've got the fold back away from that cutting line. And then slowly cut down and make sure it's not hitting that fold. All right, and we got it. So there you go. We've cut off this one little excess piece. And this is the card shape. Isn't that cool? All right, so we've got that done. So now you need two contrasting colors. So I chose these colors. And I figure I want the darkest color. You always want the lightest color on the inside so that way you can still see and write. So see this? I can still write on here. Okay? So this is going to be my lightest color. So this needs to be trimmed down. So let's go ahead and do this. So that needs to be 4 by 5 1/4. And then we'll put this on the inside. So let's go ahead and glue that down. Try to line it up as best as you can with the same amount of border going all the way around. Alrighty, there we go. That's such gorgeous paper. Okay, so that part's done. Now we need to do this little piece down here. So, and that's what this is for. And actually, you can use this as a pattern if you want to, because as you can see, that's what we've cut off. So I can lay this right on here and trim it out. But I want to make it a little bit smaller than that. So I'm going to move it over just a little bit, and then I will mark it with my pencil. Actually, I'm just going to line it up the right way. There. Trace that line. And then what I can do is cut it on this side right before my traced line. So that way it's just a wee bit smaller. There. Ta-da! And that should fit right on there. Check it out. Okay, so let's go ahead and get some glue on here. Then we can glue that down. Very nice. There. Turn that over, give that a nice little back rub. All right, now this is the fun part, and I've got an easy way to cut this piece. So you're going to need your darker piece, which is here, and I'm going to fold this paper this way, so that way I know I've got to trace this on this side. Okay, so I'm going to take this and close it up. I'm going to line this right up against the edge, all the way up to the fold here. And then I'm going to pull this all the way down so this top and the top of the paper and the top of the card line up. Okay, then I'm going to take my pencil and I'm just going to trace this all the way down. Now I'm going to go ahead and use my fold, and I'm going to go ahead and draw right along the fold line. There you go. So now I have my piece that should fit on here. And again, I'm going to cut it a little bit shorter on the inside of the triangle. So I'm going to line this up and line my pencil mark up. Okay, it's right there. It's kind of hard to see it on this paper, but that's okay. Then I'm going to trim a little bit on the inside. And then where's my line? Okay, right there. A little bit on the inside of the paper. And then again, got to find that line and go a little bit on the inside of the triangle that we're cutting. There we go. And then this should fit perfect on here with a little tiny border going around. Look at that. Oh, those colors are just absolutely stunning together. All right, so let's get some glue on here. Isn't that pretty paper? I just love it. All right. Then we'll line this up on there. And there we go. And press that down real good. Turn it over. We'll give it a nice little back rub. All right, ta-da! Isn't that pretty? So look at that. How cool is that? So we've got the pattern. We've got one just with the papers on it, and then we've got a decorated one. Aren't they pretty? I love it. All right, I did pull out couple ideas. I pulled out these three because I thought that would be gorgeous. And that's actually a clothing tag that came off of a piece of clothing. But I thought, how cool is that? That matches so perfect. This, today is a good day, part of a calendar, one of the calendar pictures, and I thought that looks really pretty. So, and then the silverware that somebody sent me, and that blue matches so nicely. I think I like the silverware the best. I think I do. So I think I'm going to use the silverware on this one. So let me trim this up a little bit neater. It's so fun to have images from other people, because then we get a nice variety of items to play with. So that's an idea for you when you're actually pulling your stamps out and stamping them out to make a card. Stamp a few extra on some scrap paper and use them for sharing with other stampers. All right, that is really pretty. So now it needs something sturdy to go behind, and I think what I'll do is this one big enough? That blue? Oh, it is. It's just big enough. How perfect is that? Because I was thinking either that or this black and white. That would look neat. Or I could use the actual black, but then that would fade in. I don't think I would like that. I think I like this or the blue. I think I'm going to do the blue side. All right, let's go ahead and glue this down, and then I'll cut around it again. That's going to be sharp. There, that's perfect. All right, now let's leave a little edge around there. We can trim this out again. That's going to be really pretty. Follow it slowly around. I've learned to take my time over the years because especially when you're fussy cutting, it's always better to be really slow than to hurry up and hurry your way through, because if you hurry your way through, you're probably going to mess up. And I usually use scraps that other people have shared with me. So that would be very disappointing for me to mess a pretty piece of paper up because I wouldn't have another piece. So if it messes up the first time, it's gone. And I'd be crying like a baby. There, that is pretty. All right, nice. Isn't that fun? All right, so let's go ahead and put that on. And I'm wondering, a doily might be pretty behind there. I have doilies. Yes, I do. Did I put them in here? Yes, I did. Yes, I did. Somebody just recently sent these to me, and this would be perfect, or this one. That one is just gorgeous. Oh, Laverne from Canada sent these. Oh, that is so pretty. Oh my goodness, is that pretty. Wow. All right, but I think this one I might like better. Where the other ones go. There they are. I think I might like this one better. Yeah. For this, yes. Okay. All right. That is really pretty. Okay, now make sure this is just one and not two. I think it's just one. Oh, nope, it isn't. It's two. There's a whole bunch there. Okie dokie. So now I can go ahead and I can glue this right on here. Oh, let's see. How am I going to do that? I'll lay this on here, and then I'll make sure that I glue this right in the middle. In that circle. And then I'll turn this over. And lay that on there. That is so pretty. Oh my goodness. Look at that. That is just gorgeous. Okay, so now I know I can lift this up. And I can get the rest of this. That's going to go on the card anyways. And this is going to go up. But if I do it gently and not put too much on, it should be fine. All right, now. This I want to be right here. So let's draw a line here. So I know it needs to be glued on this side. So my husband was supposed to leave Connecticut today and come home to West Virginia, but he got up this morning and the battery's dead. Of course. Why not? There, and I'm just going to use that line and line it up. So he had to text me and say, sorry, babe, I'm not coming home today. It's going to have to be tomorrow. I'm over at the Subaru dealer. That stinks. That really stinks because I've been missing them. All right, let me get this off of there. Turn that back over. Move this out of the way. That is so, so pretty. Oh my goodness, I love it. Okay. So then, do we need any bling on there? Let me put this away before. Where's the other ones? Where are the doilies? Right there. Okay. That is down lower than I expected. All right, so I'm going to need something up here where I can pull this up more. Yeah, I think I do want it up. Move it up a little. That's better. Okay. Much better. Alrighty. Voila. Now, what else do I need? I need some bling. And we have bling, 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 bling. We've got blue. There's some turquoise. That would pull that blue right out, wouldn't it? I think that's better than this one. I think that one matches better. Okay. All right, so we're going to go with that one. And we're going to put some bling on here. And that'll be fun. Oh, it's on the other side. Alrighty. So let's see. Let's put a piece here. And we'll put some over here. And then we'll put some up here. There. That's pretty. I like that. All right. And then the last thing we need to do is get a little piece of foam, 3D foam, and you want to put it right in the corner here. And take that little release paper off and go ahead and press that down. So that way, when the recipient receives it, they can just open it right up. Isn't that a pretty card? I really like the way that looks. All right, so there you go. And I can put these back away. And let me bring this up closer so you can see it. Isn't that a pretty card? So I hope you like this idea and you'll give it a try. And until we meet again, happy crafting. Bye-bye.